Adam me about that phone,
come on. Yeah, I want to jai, sir. At least, jai. Share my name. Maminti doc. Me das. Doc, me patro kasa.
Yemo bibi akwaba. Nana Yaa Juntuah a presidential staffer ewo Jubilee House. Sansona Kabila Bomfeh enso ekasa edema MPP. And Dr. Okoe Boye enso ye ankani health minister. What is the deputy ono ena oye former MP for Lizikuku constituency in the Greater Accra region. Nana Yaa Juntuah de unim na uka President Mahama Wakan oni Kabila Bomfeh as a sabwaso on the studios of what a year Asempa FM obi ni show no so ekosi sen dwumadi no na menkasa ho bebre ebeko nyachi nsen ni bi sedi esiko ye ni koba ebeto so ni na efa a year IGP ni extension modi aman 2 years extension. Any other related matters, no? It
could have been handled better.
Like what?
Our statement, clâshed to issue April 2nd, say Abaya suspended a post-retirement contract extension, no? And yeah, they are buying for 9 agents or Bay bill. Into why this? Modi way bound, so me pa Ghana for what me cash in such a
Ghana for. I said, Ghana for
when
Mammy Fanchiama,
okay,
with tea for ne washeful.
Also,
I mean, Fanchiama, Marietta, Anti-Marietta Brew,
legal counsel to the president.
Shamima Beatrice, Joyce Bawa, Nana Yaa
Juntuah,
Cheo Munina, Nema, Omo Boy Excellency. Flagstaff House.
And a Jubilee House for say Kasano from tea. No kakra.
Never my bread.
Kafra. You man the doors on we need.
Share sa statement name. A buy na ma share. I was even saying yesterday on one of your sister stations who is a public service staff. How do you engage a public service staff as against a political appointee? A public, there might be constitutional provisions, but who is it referring to? Is it referring to a political appointee who has been appointed by the president but works in the public service, or is referring to somebody who has gone through the process of being engaged competitively in the public service? You see, before we understand what was in the mind of the president when the letter was written, we should know who a public service staff is. In my view, I looked at it. The public service staff, you be they are engaged, our officer or your manager or your director
through the Public Services Commission,
through the public service, or even through a competitive process. AYEKA say there is a vacancy for a director.
Yes.
The age limit is 30 years. My apply.
Yes.
My interview ya family. By a can't chair me say when you 30 by 60 years no overcall retirement. Of course, see, especially in the public service, so that ebema kwai ma almost so our training wo mintina de bia in the public service. So yeah, juma or public service who will attest to that. Meaning say I think he was in Kolibu. You always have younger ones behind you. It is purported as assumed they will take over from you. So you train them. There are people who are ministers who are over 60.
Yes.
And they have been appointed ministers. Does this apply to them?
No. And you realize in the Martin Amidu age, I remember I said the Supreme Court had the opportunity to explain who a public service person
I haven't
is.
read that one. I mean, maybe if I read crime review. But the public service staff is the issue, because then you bloat the public service. That at the top, almost retirement, they don't leave. Not ya more 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. No more that so. No vacancy ni who ebe manko for progress.
progress.
The IGP's position is one position. Yes, there are people there, but a political appointment. I want to really find the dichotomy between the two.
If the IGP can be categorized as a public
service staff. You see, that is the qualification. A public service staff. And I'm also saying that there are ministers in the public service who are also over 60. What about those ones?
But Nana, the provision Kabila referred to, it doesn't use public service staff, it uses public officer.
It's the same thing.
Who?
A public officer, a public service.
Who's a public officer? Because if you are appointed, that's how we are even a political appointee. Now, public now, you qualify to be a public. You are a public officer now, don't you know?
Yes, I'm a public officer.
Yes.
By which category?
I get it.
Do you get me?
I get it. And I make us say, maybe the wording here goes beyond public service staff.
But this one is so it means that within this, if we go for interpretation, maybe within this you might find a public service staff.
Absolutely.
Do you get me?
Absolutely.
So we should find out. So before we start chiding Dr. Callistus, we should find out exactly what. And let's say na person me could be about me kwa adwuma nyina no me wa abonten ye adwuma na ekosi same time so we do office.
Let's see if this would help. Chapter 14 of the Constitution about the public services. The public services, chapter 14. Article 191. The public services of Ghana shall include A, the civil service.
Yes.
The judicial service, the audit service, the education service, the prisons service, the parliamentary service, the health service, the statistical service, the customs and excise and preventive service, the national fire service, internal revenue service, the police service.
Yes, but I am asking the question: how do you appoint the top of these?
The head of the police service.
Yes, because you see, when the IGP is being appointed, sometimes when you see the case of Dampare, when Dampare was appointed, I had numerous calls. People telling me that Nana Yaa Juntuah.
Yes.
But he was appointed politically.
Sure, that's true. That's true.
So when we talk about the public service staff, you are talking about maybe people who have to go through and it's when the IGP was being chosen, political appointment. So when it comes in, this is where the discretion of the president comes in. Because on our appointing the president doesn't know staff in the public service.
Yes.
Beyond the level of the chief, even some chief executive, he doesn't know them directly. Do you get me?
Yes.
Some chief executives, he doesn't know them directly.
That's true.
So beyond that, only money public service, but he knows that there's a rule that's a mid 60 years. And as you said, previously had been abused. That's people who were public servants. One cry interview, one matter as chief directors in near day, yama one more time. Some of your sister stations, it became an issue. Some were even 60 before, some 50 something. That you see, the reason why this is important is say even public service, would be 52. Let's all compare Juma. They will say ye nya so mfa so.
Watch her 8 years.
Watch her 8 years so. So it must be now so better so be so. Or ye be pay Juma no ye 26. Or se matine Juma mu has say ya 36 years. Ubo hot fa ko nte se me amesese Juma. What did they mention?
Yes.
What was the mind of the president when he was talking about public service?
And I think then that's why the Supreme, maybe to buttress your argument, in the Martin Amidu case, the Supreme Court said, the age, will not be an issue considering the unique nature of that position.
Yes.
And as you said, Onono may not be properly so called the public service staff as our age 60 would apply. You
see, when
that extension,
because when the president brought this in, you know the number of people who are more public service, a free ma, or more time maswa, a ma younger ones movie, go through interview. See, within even the public service, when you are moving from one class to the other, you go through an interview. We are manager, we call director, deputy director, we are officer, we call manager. So these are public service staff levels. And
are you by this saying, say April 2nd, let Nana Callistus the buy, Now, or a specific say public service
Yes,
staff.
public
Is that what is in the letter?
This is what's in the letter. I no pay your kanye. We were on
You have the letter. I sent it
I'm
to you.
coming. No, you've not sent it.
I sent it to you.
Am I?
Would be no chat? My son,
because if honorable Akwesi Akwa.
Yes.
When we were on your sister station, this is way, because he mentioned this and argued on it. Say public service staff, and I as the argument said, you see, the public service is a very tricky place.
Yes.
There are politicians, there are public servants, there are all manner of people in there. You really need to know which class are you referring to. Even within there, say or secretarial class, or direct, so many things. So when this letter is written, we have to know where it is coming. But for me, if your friend is saying Yohonu, IGP Yohonu.
Okay. To confirm, the grant of post-retirement contract appointment to retired public service staff has been suspended with immediate effect.
Yes. And if you can say suspended.
Yes, suspended.
Suspended. Do you get me? Suspended is different from cancel.
Yeah, from.
Do you get me? So if you are coming to maybe so almost started crap as you said, no, they should come and tell us say you be
that notification didn't.
Say Yohonu IGP Yohonu COP Yohonu, right, is a public service staff who not fall into this category. The language there is suspended.
Yes. So the president can still lift.
Yes, so if there is any suspension, so I do not think say a right to say anybody who should chide your friend is a Callistus.
No, a different interpretation would be when you saw.
There be I am saying so one ya dear na bibi. I'm because you see, suspension is different from cancel.
Yes.
You can lift the ban on a suspension.
Yes.
But maybe if you haven't informed us, it's different. But me, I believe we said this one has to be interpreted. This
interpreted.
One interpreted. A public service staff. It's very key.
No, I agree with you on that.
Ultimately, and there's nothing wrong with say okay, you emphasize we public service staff. This one, you see, a suspended process. But I am saying, say, Yohonu, COP Yohonu, or your excellent. Me, I dealt with him severally.
When he also said the same thing.
Yes, when I was period with all these issues of TUC going on demos, all the things that we went through. Do you get me?
Yes.
And even the protection that we needed because people were up in arms on tariffs that the friend say increasing. He was there.
Yes.
Giving us so much protection, support and all that. Very nice man. And if he's doing something good for the police service, the police needs to be looked after. And I've heard the people in the police service are happy.
With Yohonu.
With Yohonu. Do you get me? So if he's, you see, sometimes Obi, when we speak as if we are dealing with a president who doesn't know the time of day it is. This is the president who knows everything. Mostly, I'm telling you. He's very quiet. No, you see, sometimes you feel so onim because of the demeanor. So what's not papa we and men send you ho be catch our wumpo no to on wunim. What's man say?
Yes.
He knows so much. Into full say Ophelia said maybe asem na ye be catch no police council be catch no enya de da kwan mu a enya de obeti obidi na ye osiri
omiti
is omo obi akasa na ya ye brutal. Do you get me?
Yes.
I am talking about somebody onye near makeke. I'm very serious. In the police council especially in the second term, he wants to make sure new food so onim sa letter way echo Callistus letter.
Callistus sent me issue letter.
That is what I am saying. New food say oh yes I dey we no name say Callistus letter way at the kind. And he knows what he means by public service staff. Because na he knows what it is. You say na dia baako mo ye bibia na chete mo ye buye ma ye nimtia. Oba na da police council na no or chairman. Vice president. Chairperson.
Na why na ebu ma nim?
There be obi e kan na we ade we ya president aye die. Oba.
Na say oba anya president. President ye be ma.
Oba na ye chairman of the police council. There be a police council and my recommendation. That is the point.
Now the president was not bound by that.
I am saying say oba because say recommendation is not tangible. Because oba now di animu mass recommendation no wonyo oba keke. Oba nim o you nim die. O kan sama wonim die o
media mu say yes wo say MPP for
of course
no IGP
of course
and
yes among so the point is that at the time that he was due
yes
now what power ni trim tie me carefully time I know ye due no sa adwempa na e woni trim ko be ba implement it.
Is that not draining in our sign?
By now one can implement here we almost the
but who says he was due? Every COP be a potential. Who is COP that's why is COP 10 years.
As a man person me says so in line na anymore.
Okay.
So on to mean DIG two fools me person me kase pia and my brain so because nka be am dia se me free ba
me hu ye na me hwe me am na ya pa manfo so pa ne sa na ya ma
I almost stop me anya hwe na sopa de so be sopa maka no kure na MPP for be sopa me because I spoken the truth obi sopa anya no kure I can't near be sopa
we sure say we can no kure
me can no kure pa because what I know maybe most people don't know
say omo botra no
omo monta ne say me wonim ne ma me ni ma menka me person me be man enforce me
no sir because you botra once when you cast your botra you've made a claim also justify
the buni mo ma ye ye upset say ye de ma papa no
dampare
yes even at the time you promote dampare kra wuni nkrofo a no omo nya happy but me dampare me penasempa I see him as a me dampa me penasa the kontia me penasa me say obo mpaye obi a me obo mpaye papa bia nya mpaye shake mpaye papa bia no me no me penasa
and I still was say your boy travel obi obo mpaye the grace to me left no the
baby I do say grace me left no
yes it can say obi your boy travel
some person me chew say nyankopon nyankopon what I say or believe also in succession it is say grace left na grace left no be enhu what I say so in the mind of the ordinary person no ya den ya boatre obi
okay
what is me na empire as obi mponim so obo empire
okay
if grace lifting somebody in the ordinary eye cannot see it is only God and the prophet who will see. Meanwhile, a prophet be a man can say grace and I lift him.
But when him so say with way na happen contrary to the April 2nd letter you read here, you know. Is that the floodgates have been opened?
No, as let's define this one. Do you get me?
No, I get that argument. But I'm still telling you that the floodgates have been opened.
Not for public servants who are staff. Let's define this. For me, if we define this, yeah, but
if for example, based on our categorization, no? Say a far more political appointees direct now. Meaning say they don't fall within public service staff. In the political appointees, don't man pay 2 years contract, 2 years contract.
No, quite the contract only papa na eko. And your contract as
only papa be.
No, so what can say political appointees? Say minister or what? Say na bangu aso na eko. No,
more rather than
independent. I didn't know how that though. When PURC, I told you here, PURC was an independent it's an independent regulatory body.
Yes.
The first person who was there, Mr. Edu, stayed till he was 60. The second person MPP time was sacked. Edu came from Rawlins's time. Your friend is saying EC. Say it's an independent regulatory. Yes. Wasn't sacked. What is her name? Charlotte was sacked. So I mean this one there some of them are protected by the constitution and you need to go through certain processes. Yes, and most of the independent institutions, SHRAJ and all these independent institutions yes.
Okay. Now Mamin Nasi, I think your point is well made. Doc, Mamin Piki with views on this IGP in Komoi.
But before that, Mamin can say Saturday we na the best secondary school in the country.
Yeah, more 87th.
Yes.
Yeah. Presec Legon.
Christian gentleman. Now 87th. You know, the special thing is this year's speech and prize. Yeah, badge.
Yeah,
your friend Y2K.
But you
2000.
I love us all back on
year. More funded this year.
But you okay, yeah, me.
Okoe Boye will meet.
Oh, I'm senior 1 year.
I want to be 99. But only a guest speaker for
Yes.
Okay.
So because your brother, you don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But the main speaker, apart from no, your one you meet a year group gentleman, and also you're very, very positive guy. Hadome. Ono no the chairman of the Adome group. It's a very important consulting group in the States.
Okay.
And also one of the main speakers, together with Miss senior brother, Honorable Minister Okoe Joe.
That's fine.
Now, ye papa, Dr. Ernest Ofori Sapon, who is on a global president and the school board chair. Yes, Presec. Intobi, we are senior papa and Yamama no be brain doors. Apart from Busiano, Presec, yes, inti. Presec Legon die enya dia media grow. Na me was senior bakwa apart from Okujeto. In fact Okujeto die because me didn't hear SRC ni other things no. O yemi nyam penasem. Ba bakwa na me feeling no pa say o hini wa akwetia. Nkoso yini of kwewu akwetia.
Oh, okay.
Ena ni dini what Richard Oredu wadie.
Okay. On also your Presec.
Yes. Your friend Dabo kan Dabo and 99 now you want to know my sardine she told that she told a friend fertilizer just a bar adima Emma need to your brothers be omonomo handle the organization no
sure
Alan Biaso you might know him, he's an IT guy.
Yeah, Alan,
yes, he's the project chairman.
Okay.
And you also have Richard Odampton, who is the executive secretary for the year group. And the president is Selassie.
Yeah.
Suawu, Onoye president.
In the Nkoswahin and Nkwetia,
Nkwetia.
Where St. Peter's School.
Nkwetia. Why can't St. Peter's?
Lotteries in the brother.
Oh,
I should think so.
Yes. Nana. Yes, Nana. Nana redu wadie. Yede ukanda bo pe obi a okọ Presec, especially from 97 to 2001 to ukanda bo pe ni say ye nana ba ko pe. Na enye so ye nana pa philanthropist.
Oh, okay.
Or ye ni amakaba.
Yeah.
Enti nana unkwaso. Na obi only make short. What I'll say is that your substance and your form. We list amoko through public servant. Ni say, I don't know, are you paid from the government coffers as in consolidated fund?
Yes.
If you are someone who is being remunerated regularly, maybe monthly, 2 weeks, 3 months, but you are drawing from the public fund, this how do you call it, provision largely applies to you.
Yeah.
You resist it to all. Obi the ebi 60, but you maybe a draw so there unko. Lectures, for example, I think during our time, it was more or less made a government policy say because of the numbers in Okoe University, any scarcity, you 70 years instead of 60. Okay. I think those days, most of the time, almost automatically, they do it up to 65. Then 5 years now, by contract. But I will say it was tedious. And numbers, most of the public universities, the agreement was that look, instead of their 60, do it what? 70. Now, once it's 70, discretion is not much what applied over there until there is sort of fairness. Now, before I even forget, there were two main reasons why this suspension are Dr. Kalisto Stroy, Ebae. The politicians, politics. In opposition, the impression was created say Mobi extension, every a crony, and now a sympathizer, and now a adamfo. And everybody did politically say, hey, you know. Munye juma
nkokrafo na
obi we say politician dey so petumia tools no doors into where one of the tools I use here enti sa suspension on ho no bibi ewo yesi o hia nkofo me no mu ko abotia
say na me
enti yakasa ma obi wa bia we enti kwa no too mind this no say there's going to be fairness no extension yes you be rising Anything as a letter no buy. And I said, yeah, abana promise fulfilled. Now reality now say, hey, I don't know. Sometimes easy sir. And to me,
I say 125.
And nothing. Nana Yaa public service staff.
That's what it is.
Because yes.
Unse list now share no. Na veterinary service o. I don't think it's veterinary service.
Veterinary service.
Fisheries commissioner omu.
No.
The point I'm making is that you can't list the whole of government.
Yes.
But the principle or the substance is that once you are drawing from the consolidated fund, or you are drawing from a fund which is public, there is an age. Oh yes, but say who said normally. That's why the lawyers say that. That's what they say. The constitution is a living organism.
Yes.
When an issue comes, you will not find everything word by word, but you will find the principle based on which you have to lay your superstructure. So the point I'm making is, who started as a veterinary service owner? Those guys who sat by, they will list the obvious ones to give you an idea of what they are trying to draw your attention to.
Yes.
Now, will be me in this world. When we come to the main topic, there's something I want to talk about, and the member starting to say, I came into politics because I believe that it's a machine for making people better off. This world, one of the things you should also avoid, apart from trying to make people better off, is to avoid discrimination and unfairness. And that was shown by Christ when Christ was asked, which law is the toughest and the most powerful of all? His answer was very simple: treat your neighbor.
Love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor as yourself. And then they went ahead and said, who is your neighbor? Because question them we do sano. I said one answer in a very quick, easy way. So neighbor no neighbor no watch you know. And then he gave the story of the man who traveled on his the Good
Samaritan.
And what was the feature of the Good Samaritan? The guy who was in trouble, no, a priest passed, didn't mind him. And then also someone who was Jewish didn't mind him. But the Samaritans, if you check their background, they have nothing to do with Jews. Christ was trying to tell you that in this world, you have to hold
everybody's stand.
Exactly. It applies in politics. Most of the time, this extension thing breaks the rule of the Good Samaritan. Then police service, and this is not to your own. Ebia, you can say, oh, mo be Ejia, mo Ethiopia, ultimately be IGP. Obi. Because discretion war for a particular president. No, I'm more be 2 years. Anti service maybe or the 62 years in the service. Ebi awunu Sebio
was already 58.
Exactly. But the Emma Mika said the Good Samaritan didn't know is defeated and said, Ebi awukra time I would do 60 no. One and you say IGP crowd na because wundi. Udi one yes 2 years in ebi now we are there. So correct. Oh yes. Unse yet we bo try obi. But say uba ejuma no sebio na enye compulsory say obedi IGP.
Yes.
But now you more or less compulsory say once in power hono you be there till 60. It's like university and the vice chancellor. In the university, not all lecturers. It's not in your working conditions. You'll be a VC by 60 or one day. But Nyami Buana Domunu Eba based on competence and other things. Ultimately VC. Say 58. A younger guy at 49. Based on the name of ultimately VC. And no ultimately but the any fair and say sir younger now be for 60. Now you see I'm on 5 years extension. But who do 60? Who did not buy the same bra? Now you see who they coffee. So all I'm saying is that look, the constitution has served us for some time. This suspicion of chronism, of party sympathy and all that, it will be there as long as you don't give everybody the extension. So there are two things involved. In life, you must always audit yourself. Every policy is supposed to be subject to what? Amendments, the policies.
Yes.
Obi.
Yes.
There are two things we can do. Either there is an independent body that validates the extension, which means that it is very necessary. And I'll give you an example. Even in medicine, to say obstetricians, medicine say, internal medicine, physicians, but in the same medicine, neurosurgeons are. Say, no man, what few. Sana ebia o hwe pediatric oncologist. Because the organ ebia 1 or 2. And if you want to give an extension to, let's say, a doctor in the medical field, you can send the list or name to, let's say, GMA. They themselves tell that, as for this one, please don't let the fellow go. We need him. So the point I'm making is that either you find a way to what, validate independently, so that the favoritism and chronism, which is usually suspected, will be away. Will be fairness. Or, with all due respect, take the retirement age from 60. Because I know say people say, oh, and Nipano, or I sister now, so say the 9 years, all that is childish talk. Since others get to 60 and you let them go home, if you think that because of, and it's true, in the past, when we do 60, life expectancy was low. Maybe say because of modern knowledge in India, in 60, no more. So we can review and say we are going taking it to a 65. But if you want to be a 60, this discretionary thing which was put in the constitution, mutual constitution, all due respect to them, can say Debiano, perform thinking in a whimsical and capricious manner. Almost every provision, something informed it.
Yes.
And in the past, now there were some occasions they needed titinu na sebioze say na obi afie graduate or no titinu be hwe kro nyina no na only 2 people who have done tertiary education. If they go on retirement at 60, a whole service has collapsed. So in the past, it was necessary because we didn't have a lot. Say one shot in the past, not discretion on doors. Because I didn't, it's almost automatic. Veterinary service, the only veterinary surgeon was turning 60. Apart from no be any woman no coffee, I won't buy you. And one of the chairman is a tinaho. But you know, one veterinary surgeon, Ebia, over 60 years. Nechino, young ones are saline. Our Mokita expertise 40. So Yono is a nice man. Dan Paris is a nice man. This discussion is not about them, but we have to grow Obi. And I said the principle that Christ enumerated, the biggest law of all. In politicians, yes, let it apply to us.
But it's also important.
And love God.
Yes,
love God as well. Obi, yes. Now, Obi, what makes you treat people you don't know? Look, Obi, me call health insurance. Me see you. Some of the accusations, me too, or sometimes me say, Oba no. NDC for crowd ben which MPP for because NDC for me show much crown share party and yet if you love God, and that's where the love God comes in. If you love God, you don't look at people's background. You treat them as images or creatures of God. So mesre, if we use this approach, say the principle is that Obi did you look cry in opposition. And my impression yet is said here, we will normally are done for money. In fact, I didn't grab it. Say 70 cry, 80 cry. There's another batch of political appointees. There are no people who were on a list drawing regularly. That's the difference. Obi Ejuma Officials Commission. So you know, chairman be a party view. The other one also no any political appointees. No watch. But when there to say Nana Yaa actual letter. Amani say, oh, government have Okoe Boye, and you over 90 crowd, the president can what? Bring you. Yeah, but those who draw regularly, so whether if you are not even capturing the list, a judge will look at you and say that look, you free the age. Let there be fairness, and then we can make progress.
I think you've summed it up nicely. I was here showing a movie on Dr. James Kabila Bomfeh. A minute. Any reaction? I mean, movie on me, Pacho.
Oh, well, we would have said now to a reaction. I found it strange that you couldn't refer to Article 295, which defines public service.
Okay, what does it say?
Public service includes service in any civil office of government.
Oh, you said it.
The emoluments attached to which are paid directly from the
okay, that's what Okoe Boye referred to.
Or directly out of monies provided by Parliament
and service with a public corporation.
Sure. So it is no doubt said the office of IGP is a public office staff. Okay. Look, and let's say it. I mean, come with no ambiguity. Sebi ekosi saying me sha say ba so anu no me tran mu da say me obi ho tan o sebi o man ho do ene nyina e de ye and an kronkron na involved no. I was expecting you. How did I chide Dr. Kalisus Mahama here?
Okay, I refer to it. Say what drink now.
No, but it is wrong. It was wrong for that statement to be made. So you should have done that.
Let's
move. That said, Obi, asama ye ken. Meka free emrani na so enye me Kabila Bomfeh na meka nye madwen kire sebi eye constitution no and amendment 1996 out of money daddy mpempem me no kaze wonim say ye 5 commissioners of police awo mu nyina no hwehwemu kakra ma ye say within the next 2 years on benya retirement age or 60 but
5 COP.
Yeah, COPs. Nka omo ye potential
IGPs, yeah.
But omo beko, if you are talking about fairness, justice, nisanemana. 2, let's put it on record. My good friend Christian Yonu, what was his last position before he became
Deputy IGP?
Who appointed him?
The president.
Which president?
Nanado.
Bypassing no, and I say over jumping him over no. Where is that grounded? Where is that grounded? Timesre media Oman kasa ya
appointed IGP.
Deputy IGP is not
a deputy. A deputy is not an IGP.
Okay, that's
you can't compare the two.
Your point has been well made.
Yes.
Look, even when he was appointed deputy IGP, there were issues about it. And already, people the break kasa who say, hey, Adam Breben here appointing was even appointed to undermine the IGP. Why? And yet it was done.
Why was that said?
Are you not the news?
They're not the news, but why was that said?
Doc, yes.
Obi, principles are either kept holy or wholly abandoned.
Okay.
To try to diatribe and dance between principles, it tells who you are.
Okay.
So what I say, the principle is very simple. As we speak now, the president, through his Secretary of State, has fallen on his own dagger. Me and Michelle say ye issue statement April 2, 2025. Machemu says that statement now or issue ye no contradicting even provisions of the national constitution. 2, Makase the letter or issue nanu ya extending the appointment of the IGP 2 more years. Are constitutionally grounded no. Any the can issue ye April 2nd no. Eboebra. And so one can was bia. Oman ye chichiri say if he say obi atimi ye de ope na or the cost de osi pena. And ye nya ka say. Lastly, you see somebody abused this provision. Obi, you said it too. You said it
at the same time.
It
was I said what?
You said it was abused in the past. This provisional.
The allegation against the government was that they had abused that.
Who cited any abuse? Who told us say as soon as your man extension 2 years, Nana Yaa abused. As soon as your man extension, my mom said this incident is 2001. Oh. Professor Robert Nidodu. Go and check the records.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And the media, the American say
very well.
If he say the econo, a cosi the sikan and nanwa, Yamaya. Media, Madrimu no, side ya dia, and ka, assembly ni hu, Senya Krata, Minopeni, Kalistu Shono. April 2 and assembly ni ho ntima mampani wo ho kwan bia say oyeden otumi yes aden constitution amambra no e ma no ho kwan ono anasema o kan ya biribi atwam e na ase wote ahwe
so me da say doc nana wo bibi kan we hu bi
the president has fallen on his own dagger. You don't know the reason why this thing was written. And that is
we should be told the reason.
That is what I'm saying there. Say with time way up we should find out.
You can Obi. She can tell me what I can say or what I cannot say.
Disagreement.
No, but what does she mean that I cannot say?
Yes, you can't say.
I've said it. I've said it.
How can you sit here and say that the president has
fallen on his own president fallen on his own dagger? Yes, president.
I am saying, sir, how do you say that when you don't know the background? I know, we don't know the background to the letter that was written.
Okay, that's fine.
If you don't know the background to the letter that was written, you cannot sit here and say that. Yes, you can't say that.
Nana Medase. Doc, I'll start this, Mr. Dr. Okoe Boye. Let's start the second round way with you. Excuse me. One issue a science bar up in Parliament. Now on your friend is saying, oh, and your lithium the cra adewi. drones are the friends and doc. Zip line at the end, and because of its impact on our healthcare delivery, it's a major issue. According to IU Free, also the company is owed some $100 million or Ghana cedis.
No, I think they are owed 175 million.
175 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
And based on that, they are decommissioning some of their.
Yeah,
but that's serious.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean that was it, and my main catcher, big brother, Dr. Kabila say, Nana Yaa your boss. He say no opposition me wo baba kupa me kita Nana Yaa.
I mean, it's me a face in a way. Stop me and come dinner tomorrow. President are falling on that.
Now, Obi, baby, I already.
Kasa say na dia chi na dia sam boy.
Obi.
Adam me abodan for my.
Come on. Yeah, I want to jai sir. At least Odi jai. Share my name. Mamintie doc. Me that's it. Doc, me patrol kasa.
Obi, unse institution be akoma ye orientation.
Yes.
They want say Odi Nana Yaa program. Ya nkofo bi ube come asema. Also unhwe kwan obefa so. Na mi wa na de bia mi de oba we program. Mi nim de esi. Mi kan se mi hia bema fufu.
No, ya come on another.
No, man bema fufu.
Bema mi ma.
Yeah, o ka say yeah. Ya man bema fufu.
Ama say no. Adi am na
sitting position nso ye pa.
Why say ni say na make na fifi. God,
I don't know the two go inside.
God, Dr. Kabila no. When him say, oh yes, Ali, the mission, the PhD man, the principles, the doors. Into a bar, said I am managing the man. All the never member. Tell me, Kabila is a fireman.
Oh yeah,
but no one say, hey, Bodino man, listen, hey, poem the man.
Sure.
Nko for obo mudia on cha on ya bute. Is it room?
The
kasa
has fallen on his.
The kasa nko for na sema.
Kana sema hadi ene ni
president in China. No president Muhammad China. Henenya de na woka.
Me ka woka na sema ne wo
anko. Da bi na say so ntimi ka say mo bi anka president.
So wo ka o medidi na tem.
Obi ani di na tem.
Edidi atem no di no.
Obi ani di na tem.
Ya sema de sema.
Obi ka so man panyin aka asem
ati chire no ho. Asem ni anhwehwe mu. Ya hwehwe ma ne ebe hu so achechire no ana so nchechire. Beta abe ka sema.
Na obi anim say wo de odo a wo man panyin na no wo hye. Na bo say mayenti doc. Yes. Me too.
Enyemi ami wo finfin be na mebre ozo mebre.
Yes.
Obi.
Yes.
Now me see the principle, one of the principles in medical practice say they call the principle of do no harm. Especially say assembly ba or practice.
Yes.
In terms of negligence, yes. And controversy, and patient are raising issue with you. Say doctors been for more. One the key things of which say, call patient no say call buano.
Yes.
So one buano cry. Ni health ni state na equity ana.
And I say stabilize.
Exactly. You call the principle of do no harm. If you won't say cause harm, adia obey and one background can nipa no better offer. That's where you are in trouble. Intimately. We as politicians or public servants and I manage public purse, policy, implementing niamano. Adipa ko say when say occupy office and I the bibisha un sema say want to be on fa e bi anka ho a say be careful say omo no mo benefit from ade no omo nko omo echi ana omo mbre. Now un say forgive me time light wave in same pay no.
Yes.
Sebio na enya ade a menye weka wo ho enya ade a sebio mi de omo wa pam but the ma me pie be kasa ni say na ya kakra say sebio ya na ya ministry o ye wo document e che say sebio aka health centers ye wo about 646 health centers are they to digitize me we share the contract sum of $100 million all the 646 omo ya the contract sum $70 million. Meaning say nipa na ye juma na nyina kwa na ka all the 646 obeyi 17 na $300 million. That's about $83 million.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? It means that although the number of health centers is 646, details will show you it constitutes just 17% of the entire way. Of the entire way. And to be clear, because now me say obi shamia. One should know say this Okoe Boye guy, we thought he was correct. But how could you have paid $76 million to someone who's done just about half of the job? I want to know. So that the only information was, oh, Senna, there's something more to it.
Yeah.
Zipline. Omuba Omai we move through our, you see, I have background knowledge. Make us through unorthodox means. They didn't make unorthodox. Usually, program and our policy we cost Obeshano every either Obampenyu through the cabinet and our sector minister ho. But with all due respect, Zipline initiative, you know, and free the traditional source to say president, cabinet. It was Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia and some personal life experience.
Okay.
I think the father or mother was unwell. And I drew amawo. And I didn't quite say the Okoe Boye for her. A draw just a walk pharmacy shop with. So ye chinsa na cheno more or less, you know, the parents passed. And so, in conversation with some of the health people, I say, don't we have some way of knowing where you have a particular emergency supply? As a BBC, operate me at the amount and through the travels, not share the Zipline company.
Yeah.
And to me, Dr. Okoe Boye, when we were Parliament, I was on the health committee. And idea by Nigeria, and then Rwanda. I want to say science according him. It is you say Rwanda Kigali capital no. You can Rwanda is more or less a city state.
Yeah, it's a city state.
But drive 30-40 minutes per villages in Kuti now, just that they are clean.
Yeah.
And the villages in Unsuno, omu need the network obi area and the logistical supply. And the omu yen is omu you see these drones. It will be maybe a bleedy or yamoja. You the share flight in the tray. Yes, pakipe obe na akwana drop ye hospital no na obe na free wiemu abeton. Enti doctor mbokwana so can't we find a way to incorporate it through discussions na sebi aban we esomu and almost start your questions. Yes. Enti obi I can be confident and honest with you say even within a tradition there were some who went like say no be anoye obi ebi mu ye born before computer. Na di we so they na be flying out at their top form nema. So we're like, is it necessary? But over time, you will say, a boama save some lives. Obi, meaning say some of my brothers said me a politician in government now. Your opposition. There were two reasons why Zipline we muhi. Number one is source na I say about me own frame.
Yeah.
And today be our kasa the whole world. Then I had the biggest drone health delivery country, which is true actually. In the whole world, we are the only country. Yeah, I cover almost the entire country.
Okay.
And then number two, some of them thought say ska do any shame in terms of the operational cost as soon because they need to be an emergency the AC.
Yes.
Now, in both ways, as for the doctor Bamia one day, and no mean count once because and no politics who are and yet be serious, we should grow over it. And then Mama Kesaba Ochina Mama Kesaba ne obinya kidney no NDC MPP chairman kra so qualified election. So there are some things we should grow above the name on it, or who brought it. But dear, mention is Sikano. If Sikano does one, you can always sit down with
the people and negotiate.
Yes, and say that look, and yet there be an emergency back. In fact, you are covering the whole country. You can even say, leave Accra and Kumasi where infrastructure is high. Concentrate on the north. Obi, to find out where say Ghana is you. Obi, because of the positions I've held, I've gone around this country a couple of times. Obi, and we are not here wearing suit for ourselves. The suit is supposed to make us think deeply, work hard to make life comfortable for those who are near Buidam. Me kai say travel BBS, and I go PFAB. I'm say doctor, do you want us to walk? When we walk 15 minutes, we are in the dam, Buidam. Me say I'm tired. Let's rest more. Obi na my bed. My chinsa, me go PS of constituency. District, obviously, doctor, you've done well, but now about 6-7, and I'm using the excuse ideas and my brain. But the point I make is that someone near that dam will be far away. If you're driving 15 hours, they are also one of us. Our job is to find a way. Savior. Now, remember, just a few. This is available to the Ministry of Health. The minister, everybody has it. Zipline, since Omobayeno, they've made over 800,000 deliveries. 800,000 from 2019 to now. me see flights with the fly 800,000 flights just say omo ko wiemu di bibia komo
na dia enye moja nko
now I'm giving some few brief facts.
Okay.
Over 3,000 health facilities in Ghana as we speak are connected to Zipline, which means that Zipline has them in their system and has their coordinates and can drop medicines for them. 50% of all these deliveries have been made from the 3 centers that they have decommissioned. Obi, now look at this. Heavily affected areas, decommissioning, affecting Western North and OT region because they don't have any medical stores. And they are heavily dependent on Zipline. Who says Zipline? Almost supply. They are traditionally kept in regional medical stores or the whole Ghana, our central medical store. But because of Zipline, the number critical be no more stock. Now, if you look at a farm plain, say in the Eastern region, island communities, they are heavily dependent
on Zipline.
Okay. Now, Pandai. Now, let me explain. You see. A health center in a farm place heavily dependent on Zipline. So Obabi Bewu, yeah, Kasai, a farm place.
Yes.
Now, Owe, now Mojana and stop it. One of the leading causes of women who die through delivery, PPH, what you call postpartum hemorrhage, bleeding after delivery. Obi, Oba started bleeding after delivery. You know, a doctor, I've experienced some. All of a sudden, they feel too, even in an air conditioning room. Because why expensive? You only say nyami amboawa ewie.
Obetimi ewu.
Inti now moja the first thing na nyami oya ya moja. And on the second year some drugs are all injecting na be man uterus na a contract na moja na bafom. Obi nyama we who are from place na nsio na say ntwa na be wa. Your safest bet is for the drone to drop it at your facility. Now the question is that if the service has a high maintenance cost, should you keep it because of that one woman who will be bleeding at 12 a.m. at a farm place? Or say that it's only one woman, let it go? These are serious things. A botena dealing with. And I'm very frank. Officers can also. Don't throw the whole thing away. Now they've decommissioned because the orientation of us as a state is not too proper. I saw they can see say I didn't say MP.
The new government, the MP.
Yes,
that whole arrangement.
See the orientation. I'm being careful.
No, but I think that is also we need to also say as it is. Is it say the new government is not interested in the arrangement?
No, the new orientation in common, but sometimes even the number of times you meet a stakeholder tells them that you mean well.
Okay.
The frequency.
Enka adie we enye conversation. Enka mega minhun say sebi adie we e we say etena se na ye discuss anything about it. Assemble na America and as assemble na America ho asem sisia. Ni na eye the increment and as the extension yura President John Mahama Ediama IGP Tete Yohonu Sasemi enanke ni kwanse nka yetena se na yisi hu sebi enkondwa because me hu ni say it doesn't worth it for that. Obi na sebi waba ena wo so moman no ena ya hwe nipa naniwa ena ya hu se nipa wo Yamano ada yes ka ho ni odo ni tamaso but ye piano so kakra obebo adwuma enti se nipa we no yaman se kwanya no eno ano no ena MPP fo nyan komundi MPP fo muntimi nka se economy ni nye MPP fo muntimi nka so man mu ayeshi nti no asem bia ni kwanse eye conversable you can say assembly ni kwanse edi hu komo no MPP for raise no sha say no I say ntuntum asebi o she bonim no you see MPP for it is that it's about a timer you need to sit down and know your limits in politics anya de bia na de politics now in the first place nyama adie we qualify for conversation ye the early letter Callistus Mahama the secretary to the president, release ya or the bar on what April early this year, April this year, okay, say no presidential and I know I also abemu nipa bia ni ho a ne mre beso a ebe ma na kwan se onye den onsan en 710 bi nka hombre so a ya ma kwan baba yo ko sale to no the ba bontin no ene ama the whole of conversation na sesa but ni na mu no sabi empayfo bu bebi se okwase na onsesa na adwen na IGP ni so betina so no yenye hu ni ho afubuo bia se de na last time make no yenye hu IGP ni se bi se wa involve in corrupt act bi and say corruption bi wa involve in scandal bi ana ye hu se wa deviate from Nejuma. He is on point, he is working hard and he is making sure say obey Nejuma as an IGP. As IGP I say mo me preposition no epese bantentem enti sebi although sa letter by di but mama yenka hu se so obi ya dia anase as time goes on no emre timi sisa sintia eti hoyi emra bi betimi aba parliament o betimi aye mra ama maka say sa mra we ye e de ato no for these reasons eno no yentimi eno no yentimi nka say yenye mra no because of say ka say in the beginning no ye ka say ye the Ghana mra no ye the Ghana mra no nyina ne ebo oman no ho ban na say constitution no day in day out different things come across day in day out enema foforo na eba enema foforo sisa enema sisa etino sabi se wura Callistus e de letter by ai chere se omu mfa nipa bia wa serve aban mu pen na se sabi ene akoba se tete yuhonu IGP obeto aso a I see no fault about this. I see no argument say yenyanum MPP for asom twe a omo tutu na sene abase I tells you say woni dwumadi omo ni dwumadi say omo hu say bibi ekoye okuruma enka kokon nkete omo mfo omo ni nsi so ema the whole Ashanti region omo communicator panyini pa poyando emfanya agudie. It tells you who the MPP people are. So why do you communicate? Hanum remains your number one authentic platform. Negative Yankopon in Shapa. Into Kabila Enka, Samsona, a year with Nana Yaa Juntuah, presidential staff, and now with Okoe Boye, and so Enka, it will be Yankopon. Bye bye.